HarperCollins presents Powsels and Thrums, A Tapestry of a Creative Life by Alan Garner, read by Robert Powell. Introduction. Joseph Garner was my grandfather. His great-grandfather Joseph was a little master, as was that Joseph's son William. They worked in a room at the end of the house, a room that even in my childhood was still called Uncle's. They were self-employed handloom weavers, and sold their woven lengths to big masters at Macclesfield and Stockport markets every week, walking both ways and carrying back the next batch of raw thread to the loom. Handloom weaving produced snippets of cloth, which the weaver kept for his own use. These oddments were known as Powsels and Thrums, and Joseph's and William's families would have been clad with the bits that skill had brought together to make something whole and new. As with weaving, so with writing. A lifetime of working with a pen produces pieces of thought, the Powsels and Thrums of research and experience and imagination and story that stand alone, but, because they are the product of the same loom, carry a common thread that can be shaped into something more than its parts. And that is what is offered here. Come here, lad, and I'll tell thee a tale. I'll tell thee a tale about a weasel and a snail, a monkey and a merry abbot, 7 good sons for winding. 1. Damper Latham. Grandad was a triple smith, white, black, and lock. His best friend was Damper Latham, a living-in servant at Croston Towers, one of the big houses up Woodbrook Road on the back hill. One night, on Damper's evening off, they were drinking together in the Trafford Arms, and when it was last orders and closing time, Damper said to Grandad, "I'm feeling poorly, Joe. Will you see us home?" "I will, Damper," said Grandad, and they set off to the hill. When they reached Croston Towers, the house was shut up and the lights were out. "What must I do, Joe?" said Damper. "It's more than me job's worth to be found like this. I'll get the sack." "Don't thee fret, Damper," said Grandad. "I'll see thee right." And they went round the house to look for a way in, but the doors and windows were locked. "Here we are, Damper," said Grandad. "This'll do nicely." He had found the grid to the coal cellar, and he lifted it off, sat Damper on the edge of the chute, and pushed. Damper disappeared, and there was a clatter as he landed on the coals below. "Is all well, Damper?" said Grandad. "I think so, Joe," said Damper in the dark. "Then I must bid thee good night, Damper," said Grandad, and he put the grid back on. "Joe?" "Yes, Damper?" "Cellar's locked." "Then I can't help thee, Damper. I must bid thee good night." Grandad went to the front door of the house, took his skeleton keys out of his pocket, picked the lock, felt his way down to the cellar, picked that lock, and let Damper out. "Give us a hand to get upstairs, Joe," said Damper. "I'm not fit." "I'll not, Damper," said Grandad. "It wouldn't do for the likes of me to be found in a place such as this. I must bid thee good night." And he left Damper in the coal hole, went out by the front door, locked it behind him, and down through the wood to his bed. I have the keys. 2. Hephaestus. Hephaestus was the many-skilled, lamed god of smiths and fire. Grandad was not lame, though he did have a hammer toes. "And what else should I have?" he used to say. "I'm a smith." But he had many skills, not least on the E-flat cornet, which he played in the Huff Temperance Silver Band, founded by his own grandad, a reputed master of the ophicleide, which played at the Huff Chapel on Sundays, and then, as the Huff Fizzers, busked around the farms for beer money during the week. Whenever I saw Grandad in the village wearing a flower in his buttonhole, a bowler hat and a winged collar, I knew I mustn't speak to him, because he was working. As well as being a smith and a musician, Grandad was a bookies runner. He worked the east side of the main street. Glen Ridgeway worked the other side, and was often in trouble with the police, but Grandad was never caught. He had a photographic memory, and wrote nothing down.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?